Browns fans, before we get into today's show, you better be pumped after that dominating Week 3 win. So my question for you is, if you think the Browns are the best team in the AFC, go ahead and like the video right now. Only undefeated AFC teams left are the Broncos and the Raiders. I don't think they're better than the Browns, and I saw the Chiefs lose 2 in a row. So Cleveland, to me, may very well be the best team in the AFC. Like the video if you think so as well. Welcome into the Cleveland Browns Report. I'm your host, Matthew Peterson. Week 3 overreactions coming at you. We're going to lay it all out for you guys. We're going to go through them one by one. Good show planned out for you guys. We're going to start on the offensive side, all right? So we got some offensive Week 3 overreactions getting set for you. And with that being said, let's kick the first one over. Demetric Felton will be the next Josh Cribbs. Yeah, I should have also prefaced with they're overreactions, so don't get too upset if you think this is so outlandish, which it kind of is after just 3 weeks into his rookie season, but he's looked fantastic in special teams so far, and now he's also getting incorporated into the offense. All right, check out his stats here from the Bears week 3. Couple receptions. I mean, there were plays designed for Felton, all right? But what I've been most impressed with so far is his game in the punt return game. That's where he has shined so far. Here's his numbers through 2021 right now. 3 games in, and he leads the NFL with 129 punt returns, all right? Felton, 6th-round pick out of UCLA, was trying to really establish himself in preseason and training camp. Now he's really settling in, and he's creating himself a role. That's what you love to see out of young talent, creating themselves a role, meaning they're forcing the coach's hand. You have to give me more plays and more gadgets because I'm that useful, all right? That's what I do so well. So Felton, can he be the next Josh Cribbs? There's a long time to go, all right? Cribbs, he's a very special player, no doubt about it. So what is your favorite Josh Cribbs memory? How do you not pick the 2-touchdown game against Kansas City? I don't know. Had a couple great games against the Steelers as well. Had that miracle back in 2007. So let me know in the comments what your favorite Josh Cribbs memory of all time is. Next, Week 3 overreaction. OBJ will make the Pro Bowl. Only been 1 game, but why not light it up? Because OBJ playing on a pretty decent snap count. I mean, we'll get to the numbers in a moment, but he did very well for someone that did not see the field a ton. I mean, 64% of snaps. I think that's pretty par for the course for your first game back from a ACL tear. Could have been lower, honestly, so that's a good start right there. And the Browns offense didn't need a ton of big wide receiver packages and formations. They were playing with the lead for most of the game. He didn't think he played all that great. I don't know what game he was watching. For someone that had their first game back from an ACL tear about 10.5 months later, I thought he looked pretty special. Here's what he had to say after the game, though. Check out the quote. For the first game back, I feel like I could never get my legs underneath me. So it was definitely a tough game, but I got my feet wet. Glad to get that one out of the way. 1-0 and move on to the next week. I mean, I'm not in his body, so I don't know how his legs felt. I'm sure he still is working on getting trust back in that knee as he rehabs more and more, because it's not just over with after the first game back. But I thought he looked pretty spectacular out there. He was doing the toe taps along the sideline. He was making plays. He took some shots, too. I think he even said he popped his shoulder in and out. Bears linebacker Roquan Smith gave him a good lick early in the game, but sometimes football players need that, really, right? You got to get your bell rung early in the game to set the tempo. So here's my question for you guys, though. Over or under 7 touchdowns this season for Odell Beckham Jr. I cherry-picked that number 7 for a reason. That's his career total in Cleveland. 4 in 2019, 3 in 2020. Put them together. Can he outdo what he's done in 2 years? Well, really a year and a half, all in one season. Give me an O for over or U for under. Browns fans, make sure you subscribe today to the Cleveland Browns Report so we can continue to give you the best news and rumors all season long. We'll give you guys previews, recaps, overreactions. Subscribe right now. Listen, I think the Steelers account has a couple thousand more followers than us. Get that crap out of there. Let's catch up to the Steelers. Let's give them a good run for their money because Pittsburgh was pretty abysmal in Week 3 against the Bungles. So let's catch them up. Let's catch up to them right now. Subscribe to the Browns Report today. Next, Week 3 overreaction on offense. Kicker Chase McLaughlin will have a clutch kick, all right? He's looked pretty special so far and didn't have a field goal at all in Week 1 against the Chiefs, just one in Week 2 against the Texans, but went 4 for 4 against the Bears. And a lot of those kicks were very clutch kicks, meaning if he misses them, momentum could switch. The Bears would get good field position. Instead, banged them through. Just money kicks time after time. Here's his stats right now through 3 games, and he's always been a bit of a journeyman guy in his young career. 5 for 5 so far, 9 for 9. We got those mixed up right there. 9 for 9 on extra points right there, not on 50 plus. That would be fun though. And 2 for 2 on 50 plus yard field goals. 57 is his long. So here's the deal with McLaughlin. The broadcast said it best. When you are the kicker at the University of Illinois, the Fighting Illini offense does not get you a ton of points, but they do give the kickers a ton of opportunities to score kick field goals. So he's had plenty of practice in college. It's translating right now to the pros. Here's my question, though. After these 3 overreactions for you, which one is the most likely one? Is it Demetric Felton being the next Josh Cribbs? Give me a DF. Is it OBJ being a Pro Bowl player this season? Give me an OBJ in the comments. Or could it be Chase McLaughlin, and he's going to come through in the clutch this season at some point? Because unless you got Justin Tucker, who unfortunately, I don't know how he did it, but gets the boink his way and knocks in a 66-yarder walk-off in Detroit, which, by the way, only Detroit would be on the receiving end of that kind of kick. You can't make this shit up anymore for them. But yeah, let me know in the comments which one is the most likely one of those Week 3 overreactions. Browns fans, here's the deal. Cleveland covered Week 1 against the Chiefs. Cleveland came up just short in covering against the Texans in Week 2, and they absolutely covered 7 points against the Bears. So, if you want to make some money in the Browns this season, or just betting across the NFL, whatever you prefer, do it at BetUS. They've got a great deal for you. Go to chatsports.com/bet. You have to use that link. Then, when you're signing up, use the promo code Browns125. They're going to hook you up with the 125% deposit bonus. Basically, if you were to put $100 in, $225 to play with. I'm a big parlay guy. Tons of fun parlays you can do out there. Haven't hit one yet. Always come up short. Another fun bet maybe. I don't know. Myles Garrett, Defensive Player of the Year. Sure looks like that. Little foreshadowings for what is to come. Browns Week 3 defensive overreactions coming at you now. We got 3 overreactions laid out for you. We're going to go through them one by one. Remember, it's Overreaction Monday. Let us have fun with the win. When you win 26-6, you get to have a little fun. So, here's my first overreaction for you guys. Myles Garrett will win Defensive Player of the Year. It isn't that big of an overreaction, but after a Browns team high in sacks in the game at 4.5, and a career high for him as well. Can we just talk about Myles Garrett? I'm just looking for an excuse at this point. So he's my Defensive Player of the Year favorite. He was towards the top of the list before the season even started. No surprise there. Aaron Donald has won 2 in a row right now. It's either A, you can look at it, tough to win 3 in a row, or B, tough to beat a guy who's won 3 in a row. But he's off to a pretty strong start, 5.5 sacks for him. Here's the NFL sack leader so far. Garrett sits at the top with 5.5. Chandler Jones right behind him. Jones had 5 sacks in Week 1 against the Titans. Kind of cooled off a little bit. Hassan Reddick, what a nice pickup that has been for the Panthers. And that Panthers team, we're going to get to them in a moment too. They've been good. A couple ties for 4th place right there. Von Miller, I don't know. I guess, does finer as he ages right here, coming off a did not play season a year ago with that ankle injury. So, can he stay at the top, or can he even win Defensive Player of the Year? What do you think? Give me a W for win, or if you want to be that guy, give me an L for loss, but don't. Flood the comments with W's. He's probably the front runner right now after a 4.5 sack performance, 5.5 to lead the NFL so far. I want to know what you think in the comment section, though. Next, week 3, overreaction. Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah will be the best linebacker since DeQuell Jackson. The Browns have been looking for that staple franchise quarterback of the defense linebacker for quite some time. DeQuell, I think, was the best one as of late. Before that, you go back quite some time, maybe to Houston, or even you don't go that far. But regardless, here's how JOK has been doing so far. Well, here's the stats against the Bears you see at the bottom. 4 tackles, got his first sack of the season, a half sack, paired up with Garrett on that one. But I love what he has done so far in pass defense. All right, 2 PDs. And so far through 3 games, 1, we've seen him pick up more snaps on defense and less snaps on special teams. You can kind of look at it with causation versus causation, a little bit of less special teams. But also, the Browns, they've been doing a lot of nickel and dime packages, removing a linebacker, putting in extra DBs. But you know who they're not removing? JOK. They're keeping him on the field. I love what I've seen so far. So can he be the best linebacker since DeQuell Jackson? Well, 7 seasons for DeQuell in Cleveland. Here's his career numbers. Never was a huge sack guy, but was just consistent. Great run stopper. All around a very great balanced linebacker. So DeQuell, he may be the best linebacker since then. Go back about 6-7 seasons now. It's been a little while. Ended his career in Indianapolis. But here's what I want to know from you guys. Do you think JOK is the real deal? All right. I want to gas this video up in likes so that everyone can see, JOK, he's not a mistake. That was a great pick in the second round by Barry. Like the video. I've loved what I've seen so far out of him. He missed a part of training camp too, and he's caught up to speed. He's seen an uptick in percentage snaps played on defense. He has taken over. He started 2 games in a row right now. I've loved what I've seen so far. If you do, like the video. Next, week 3, overreaction on defense for the Cleveland Browns. They will lead the NFL in sacks. Well, when you have a 9-sack game, you're going to skyrocket towards the top of the list. Plenty of football left, all right? But here are the NFL team sack leaders. We'll get that to you in a moment. There it is. The Panthers. Who saw that coming? 14 sacks, number 1 on the list. But the Browns with 9 in week 3, that shoots them up. The Bears quietly had a good defense against the Browns, at least for most of the game. They're on the field a lot, but that's why they're at 11 right now. 5 sacks against Cleveland. And then a couple ties right there. Bengals, Vikings, Cardinals also on that list. Couldn't get them on there. But can the Browns lead the NFL in sacks? Would love to see it. Overall, it's a bit of an outlier, no doubt about it. You're not going to get 9 sacks a game. You're definitely not going to even get 5 sacks a game. But you do kind of boost off of that, and this defense may be turning a corner after a sluggish start to the season.